Growing up as a young man in the Caribbean and especially in Jamaica, where I'm from, I was always pretty ashamed of where was from, where I was born. I always kind of wish that I was born in like, some first world country like America or Canada. And yeah, I always wish I was just from one of those places. I would see like, the fancy infrastructure and the, snow in the winter time and, the way that they talk differently. And I don't know, for some reason I just had this like extreme desire to belong somewhere else differently from the place I was from. And like I remember, say for instance, when me and my family would go to like America or Canada, whichever one, and with our accents, if you're from the Caribbean, which most of you probably watching are, you would know that we have like our accents make us stand out like sore thumbs, especially when we're in like places like those. So it's not an uncommon thing for people to ask us like, oh, where are you from? And like my family is filled with proud Jamaicans, like since I was born. So that's why I'm kind of confused on why I was like this growing up. But anyways, they're proud Jamaicans, so they'll always be like, oh, we're from Jamaica, and we're just here on vacation or shopping or seeing family or all that kind of stuff. And I'd kind of cringe at that because for some reason I wish they said that we were from here, and I hated the feeling of not belonging, or like for some reason in my head I had the feeling of not belonging or something like that. And yeah, that's just how I always felt growing up. But granted, I'm speaking in the past tense, so you kind of know that I'm either not like this anymore or I've changed somewhat. And I have. About 4 years ago, I moved to Canada to, I guess, finish up my schooling years and just to get some, experience outside of my home country and to kind of gain my independence a little bit and to develop myself more. And reality quickly hit that these foreign countries aren't as glamorous as I made it seem in my head. Of course, like as anyone who moves knows, you can have, the same struggles, the same problems. And for me, it's always been like mental health issues and stuff like that. But I mean, there are other things too, being away from your family and familiar faces, the extremely cold weather in Canada, struggles and pressures mounting from school, all that bullshit. And yeah, it quickly kind of took that like sparkly, I guess, film or sparkly like feeling that I placed over these places, and I started to realize that they were real places just like my home, Jamaica. And also when I would come back home for vacation or when I come back home for vacation or for holidays, those weeks, those like 1 week or 2 week holidays I would spend in Jamaica were some of the best times I ever had in Jamaica. And granted, I wasn't working, or I wasn't dealing with school, or I never had the issues that I had in Canada. So I guess technically speaking, I, had a reason to be having so much fun. And I also wasn't dealing with the issues that I was dealing with when I was living in Jamaica. But still, I never imagined, that there would be a time where I'd be in Jamaica and I'd be sad to leave and go to Canada. That's crazy. Anyways, now that I'm much older than I was back then, and I've seen much more, well, not much more of the world, but I've at least seen another country, and I've lived in another country for a few years, one of the first world countries that I was so desperate to live in. I've kind of grown a greater appreciation for my home country, and I see it more now as for what it is more than what it isn't. The beautiful nature, the sometimes warm people, because everywhere can have people that are assholes sometimes, including Canada. And just honestly, the place that is my home, this is where I was raised and this is where most of my memories are from. So it always will have that warm and homey feeling, and I don't think anywhere can ever match that. So that is the thing I appreciate the most about it. That's it. I'm trying to formulate some I don't know, some interesting sentences to say for the video about this topic, but this is my first time making this kind of video and this kind of journaling kind of video that I don't want to edit too much, but I'm definitely gonna edit a lot. So it's new to me and I'm a bit uncomfortable doing it, but hey, this is my first one and this is my first shot at it. So I guess let's see how it turns out. Anyways, that's it.